And I think the other thing that I like to think that grabs people's attention is I do think I have somehow this ability to capture emotion and expression. I mean, this right here, so much, and I don't feel like I can entirely take credit for it. I think my intuition, because I don't think I was really conscious. I think you're absolutely right about this, but I don't think I sat there and thought, oh, I'm going to put blue there because I've got blue in my eyes. I think my intuition or subconscious or something knew that.
Intuition seems to me to be the point you get to after you put an awful lot of deliberate thought into doing things.
Absolutely. That's what allows your intuition to work, is because you've prepared. If you're in panic mode or if you're struggling to figure out what you're doing, your intuition can't come in, because intuition is a very soft voice, and it can't come in when you're like just putting paint down and not paying attention to what you're doing and kind of panicking and stressing. But when you're kind of in the flow, and I mean, this sounds kind of woo-woo, but and it would have to me 15 years ago. But I find when I sit and look, just really look, this thing will come to me. You know what? Put a warm dot right there. And so I immediately listen to it now. I just go, okay, and I put it in there. And almost every time I do one of those, I go, ha, that was just right. I think I'm responding. I'm responding to anatomy here, like where I wanted to give her a little bit of a rosy cheek. And I put this big dot there with that purpose. And I kept painting. I thought, you know, that's just not quite doing it. So I came and put that. Yeah, there's a story in this. Again, it comes back to that whole idea of suggestion. I just think you leave something unsaid that allows the viewer to pick up on it. So I just try not to say everything. You know, I sometimes even look at this and say, okay, I probably could have done a little more in the hair. But I think I actually said, how much more should I do here? How much more do I need? Am I putting enough in here so that it reads? The only plan is that I want to capture what I see. I saw a certain expression in her face, so I'm just responding to what I see and feel. And so, I don't know, I think often about how when I put paint down, like on eyes, nose, and mouth, I'm literally thinking about what that feels like. You know, what the nose feels like, and how am I gonna put paint on there so that I say nose and it feels like that? How do her lips feel, and how can I translate that into paint? You know, when I'm photographing them, I'm waiting for a moment, and usually I'm taking like 200 photographs, and I'm just shooting and waiting for a moment. In these particular cases, I only shot probably like 4 or 5 of her, and I probably only shot 2 of her, and I lucked out. I got that moment. I'm not a religious person, but I believe that there's a power in the universe that wants to do good for all of us. And I think if you just put yourself in a place where you're aware and paying attention, it brings it to you. And I think she walked out of that little mess house where she was having breakfast, walked out, and I said, could I shoot your picture? And she wasn't too happy about it, but she let me do it. And it was the universe putting me in a moment that I was going to catch that. And the same thing here. She was visiting my house in Santa Fe, sitting at my breakfast table, and I told her to kind of look out the window and act like I'm not here. And I think the universe made it happen.